Alright, who here has student loans? Raise your hand. Alright, so did you know that paying off your student loans on time, making your payments, or even missing them affect your credit score? So right now, you are building credit score. Alright? So, the One Wisconsin Institute did a research, and what they found was that it takes a person an average of 20 years to pay off their student loans for a 4-year bachelor's degree, which is a long time. So that's a long time you're affecting your credit. But this is a little bit important because your credit affects how much money you can receive, especially through loans and other things like that, as well as getting better interest rates on your loans. So it's important that you build and balance your behavior and your credit scores. Right? So, let me introduce myself. My name is Brandon McCullum, and I had my identity stolen in 2010, which is a big, serious thing. So somebody stole my credit and took out a bunch of loans, and that really affected me. And what it did is it destroyed my credit score. So over the past 8 years, I built my credit score from a low of 356 to a 786 today. I've taken a bunch of classes through the Army Community Service Center, Financial Readiness Center, as well as done several hours of independent research online. So I'd like to take the next few moments to talk to you about building, balancing your behavior and credit score. So we'll start with the most important part, which is building, right? You need a good foundation for anything, even a house. The big thing that you need to understand is that it takes time. No one starts off with perfect credit. It's always hard to get your first credit card, but understand that it takes time. So the sooner you start building that credit, which will affect your major purchases later on in life. Right? It's very important that you make your payments on time for things like your credit cards, your student loans, perhaps if you have a car payment, right? Making these on time will help increase your credit, but missing them brings your credit down. So building is very important. But there's no real important thing about building unless you forget to balance it. So understanding that there are things that will bring your credit score down that aren't necessarily bad. So when you apply for a new credit card or when you apply for a loan, it's called an inquiry. And these inquiries will have a negative effect on your credit. Having too many inquiries is bad because it looks strange to a lender why you're trying to get more money. But a few is fine, like when you apply for a new credit card. You want to keep your balance low on your credit cards, right? You don't want to own a lot of money or owe a lot of money. So you want to make small purchases and pay them off quickly to help build that credit. Another thing is payment history, and that's a big thing with everyone who has student loans or car loans. So your payment history is recorded to the credit bureau, and it is a 35% of your credit score from the Fair Isaacs Corporation. So Fair Isaacs Corporation, which is your FICO credit report, they're the ones who all your loan banks and your credit card companies are going to pull your credit score from. So they state that it takes that your payment history is 35% of your credit score, which you can kind of bring up to 50%, considering that 15% of your score is length of credit history. So time is very important in this. Besides balancing your credit score, you have what's called a behavior score. It's like a credit score for your credit card. What your behavior score is a score that is determined by your payment history, your average balance, and payments missed. A study was done by Lynn Thomas from the University of Edinburgh, who did this mathematical calculation through the formulas that were provided to him by FICO, which divvied that up into those three: payment history, your average balance, and your payments missed. So the higher the score, obviously, the better the credit card you're going to get, like your platinum credit cards and things like that. You know, the things that rappers always wave around, you know. It's always nice to have more, but once again, it takes time, just like your credit score. You have to establish that rapport with them. So what I really want you to take home from this, I really want you to focus on, is that building credit takes time, and that starting early means you'll have a better credit score earlier. Balancing takes practice. No one's going to be good at it at first, but understanding how it works is important. And a better behavior means better limits. So you want to have a better limit on your credit card so you can make a large purchase with it, continue to build it up, and pay off your debt. And that's it.